Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Is intermittent fasting lawful? Is intermittent fasting lawful? What is intermittent fasting? For those who don't know, it's a modern concept of essentially a health concern. There are various reasons for which people resort to intermittent fasting, but what it comes down to is not eating or drinking anything that would spike one's insulin for an extended period of time. So that's most things. They're generally restricted to water, black tea, black coffee, and a few perhaps other liquids like that, but nothing that would essentially give your blood sugar a spike. So intermittent fasting is to do so for an extended period of time. Sometimes it's 16 hours, sometimes it's 20 hours, sometimes it's 24, 48, 72. I've heard various figures. And again, why would somebody do this? It's not for religious purposes. It's generally done for its claimed health benefits of resetting the immune system and several other benefits that people claim would come about because of it. It seems to be effective in weight loss, and it seems to be effective in certain other things. So it's worth looking at for those who want to find alternative methods to managing their health. Remember, our bodies, our health, it is an amana, it is a gift and a trust from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَلَا تُسْأَلُنَّ يَوْمَئِذٍ عَنِ النَّعِيمِ. On the Day of Judgment, we will be questioned about the favors that Allah had blessed us with. So we must look after our health. And the more natural the means that we take to looking after our health, the better it is for us and for the world in general, because there's a lot of funny things happening, with people's health. May Allah protect and grant us good health. Ameen. Be that as it may, as far as the lawful nature of this, for as long as it's not harmful or proven harmful for a person, then it's permissible to do so. But a more complex discussion is, should a Muslim combine the intermittent fasting with the religious fasting for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? My personal recommendation in this regard is to not combine your religious fasting or your fasting for the sake of devotion with a health motive such as intermittent fasting, and to rather keep the two separated. Could you derive some health benefits from religious fasting? I do believe you could, absolutely. But for the sake of the sincerity of our intention, I would advise to rather keep them separate and do both for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, yes, but keep the fasting that is specifically an act of ibadah somewhat separate from the fasting that you are doing for the sake of weight loss, and Allah knows best. If the intermittent fasting is proven to be harmful in general or for a specific individual, then of course one should abstain. The third aspect in this discussion is about wisal, or what happens when intermittent fasting leads one to wisal, which is to join the fasting of one day with another day, which is prohibited for believers. But the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he would do wisal. He's saying that Allah Azza wa Jal would sustain him spiritually, even physically. He would be sustained through his spiritual sustenance. The only caveat is that technically it's not wisal if it's intermittent fasting, because people usually still drink water, they drink black coffee and the like. So because of the introduction of water and other substances that would break your religious fasting, it's not a form of wisal, because even a few sips of water would defeat the whole problem of wisal and being guilty of wisal according to the teachings of Islam. So there's no real fear there. But still, I would ask, or rather I would advise that we keep our fasting that is for the sake of health benefits purely away from the fasting that we do or that we should be doing purely for the sake of Allah Rabbul Izzati wal Jalal. Barakallahu li wa lakum. La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah.